Hello, my name is Vidit Katlana. My BITS ID is 2022MT13037. Um, so this is a recording for network programming assignment where we are supposed to um, scan a text file, web pages.txt, take URL one by one, verify if domain exists or not, verify whether domain runs web server on port 80, and then scan the whole port, all the ports from 1 to 65536, all the TCP ports. And we have to do this one by one for each entry in the text file. So as one of the expected files, I'm recording this video. So this is my um, code. This is how we compile it, running a make, and then we run it by that command, and it goes off. So we have three files mainly. One is a make file, then there's a .c file, and there's a webpage.txt. This is what that file is scanning. So to explain how the code works, it starts from here. It opens the file webpages.txt, and then we get into a loop where this function fgetS reads string from the file until it reads \n or new line, and then it gives that in this pointer. Um, we remove that \n with a termination 0, and then I'm just printing it here to show what URL was read. As you can see, we read gmail.com, which was the first entry in the webpage.txt. After that, we fetch a IP for it. If the IP was not found, this one will print that there was no IP, and then it failed. After that, it checks whether there's a active port on port 80, and then it does the port scanning, and then it will close the file. That's how the topmost logic is working. Now let me show how get IP works. In this, we take the URL string, and then we are going to put whatever IP we get inside that pointer, URL IP. Um, we use get address info. It takes in the URL. It takes the hints where we define what kind of IP we are expecting. Here we are saying we're expecting IPv4, and the socket type to use for this is a stream type of socket, which is TCP. There are like sock and there sock datagram, stuff like that. So that's there, and then it will give all the information in this result uh, pointer. What it will do is it's going to allocate a memory in the dynamic memory, and give the pointer to that dynamic memory, basically what do you call it, stash heap. From heap it will allocate a memory, and then provide the pointer to it. We are supposed to free that memory later. Then if it finds if this function does not um, find a IP for the given URL, it's going to return -1 and say that it has failed, it cannot find it. If it could find the IP, it generally finds several relevant IPs, several possible relevant IPs, we are supposed to check each IP one by one, and then we find that okay, this is IP, and then we resolve to that. Um, then I'm copying this IP which we got into the URL underscore IP pointer, and then we are freeing this heap memory. So that's how get IP works. Then to check the port, and this is how this works. Um, we give it the IP, we give it what port we want to check. Um, then um, then we declare a structure which is for storing the addresses. Specifically, this is for address basically. Uh, we make the variable, we empty out and put zeros everywhere inside that inside that memory. We define the type of IP, we store the port inside it. Then this function is used to take the array, take the string format IP address and convert it into the data structure which is acceptable by this data structure. So this function is for that. Then we are going to open a socket. We have to create this. We'll create the socket in pf underscore inet, and it will be a string. Um, then this is done to make the socket non-blocking. This is first we read the flags, existing flags, then we change the file control flags by ORing uh, with this. We are doing this because later we'll find that this connect has a very long waiting time, like more than 2 minutes or something. Like it waits for forever. So if there's a port, say port 2, which is not actually used, the code is going to wait for like very long for that to uh, timeout to fail. So the timeout is very long. So we don't want to wait for the whole timeout. I want to wait as less as possible because there are 65,000 ports we have to scan. It's going to take forever. So that's why we have made it non-blocking. Then we do the connect. We pass the server address which we just declared and did all the shenanigans with it. We give the size. Then we check if return value is 0, which means that port is in use. We already got the response. We return 0 happily by after closing the file descriptor of the socket. Else, if it says it is in progress, if it is not in progress, if the return value was was not 0, and it was not this value e in progress, then we say that okay, it has been some other error code which means it has failed, and then we return back as failure. Otherwise, we this whole thing is for waiting. So first we have to make a file descriptor set. We are going to use select to wait for socket to get ready to be written. So we will wait for the file descriptor of socket to get ready for being written. We make a this accept a file descriptor set, not individual file descriptors. So we declare um, a file descriptor set, which is this variable, and then we make it 0, like we empty it out, and then we add our socket fd socket file descriptor into it. Then we declare this file this structure to uh, which is the time structure. We're going to use that as timeout for here. We're going to store the timeout in which we're going to send to the select function. We give the socket fd. It is we are supposed to give uh, till which socket plus one we want to wait. Which file descriptor plus one we want to wait. So we give that, then this is We are waiting for read, write, and exception. So this is write. So we give a here, others we are going to leave null. This is the timeout for how long we want to wait. And then we look at the return values. If it is less than zero, then there's again a failure, and then we go back. If it is zero, that means port has timed out, and if it gets any other value, we'll look further. So this is how it works. So this is 300 milliseconds. After trying out many values, I found that 300 millisecond is a safe time till which we can wait for a port to respond. If it has not responded within this, we can conclude that there is no active port uh, on the server at that number, that port. So after we have received some positive value, it's going to be one because there's just one file descriptor uh, in the file descriptor set. So once we get that, then we look at this, we check the socket again, and then confirm that okay, that we actually got a response from the confirm that we got a mm, com, con, connection was completed, and then we say okay, there's a port in use. Then we close the socket file descriptor, and we're done. So that's how this works. That's how check port works. Um, and then ports after we have checked the port 80, then we do the port scan. Port scan basically just is a loop which goes from 1 to 65,000 and that number is, and it just keeps calling the check port again and again. So that's how finally this code looks like when it's working. So it has read that there's a gmail.com. It finds the port IP for that. Then it checks the port 80 and it finds that port 80 is in use. So web server exists on gmail.com at port 80. Then it is going through each port one by one. So each port is getting timeout, timeout, timeout. There's nothing there. At port 80 it found something. So that's how it works, and it's going to go to the next URL, next URL. That's how it will do the task which is asked in the assignment. So that's all. That's how it works. This is make file. This is all things I'm going to give in the zip file. Thanks.